that. There we go. That should work. I'm seeing that the audio is working. We're trying out some new gear. So you guys are the guinea pigs today. I'm sorry about that. You're the guinea pigs. I do believe, yeah, got the open sound. Yes, I know. But I believe, yeah, now I'm hearing stuff in my head. So that means I'm hearing stuff now. So, but this is all total S show. This is what this show is. It's a total S show. You would think I got paid for this for a living. That's why I'm not getting paid right now. Exactly, because this blows. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, the idea was to try out some new bells and whistles. And let's go ahead and put that up. We are a virtual happy hour. Let's go ahead and there we go. There we go. There we go. Actually, let me put that volume down. There it is for a second. So all good. Anyway, glad you guys are along on a Monday. I don't really know where we're going to go. This was weird shows. First off, not weird shows. This is a weird show. Tim, Dean, my wife, everything. Yeah, she's making. I love my wife, but she makes excuses for my stink, and this is brutal. This opening was terrible. So, but I sort of had it down. But again, I'm using, and I'll kind of show you guys here. I got a few new bells and whistles. This little microphone here is one of them. You can hear it go. I got the new microphone, and I don't know how long it's going to last because I didn't charge it. And I got another new microphone for my wife. So I've got some new bells and whistles. I've also got a new little toy that will turn the signal from one to another. So meaning analog to digital. I've got that. And so today, Monday show is the Guinea Pig show. It'd be much more prepared, except for the fact that AT&T, I spent an hour on the phone with them to no avail. I waited on hold. This will be 10 to 15 minutes. We'll call you back. I'm glad I didn't do that. They may have never called me back. I'm still having troubles with my email. But anyway, now we got you. Thank you very much, Tim. Dean, good to see you in Hoke as well. Again, I'm excited about the new gear because it's going to open up a lot of possibilities. What I'm not excited about is that, again, for about the fifth day in a row, since I got these opens, the fifth show in a row, the open has been a total train wreck. Anyway, okay, glad you guys are along today. I'm going to kind of adjust my volume just a bit here and watch my VU meters there. Glad you're along. A couple things, serious thing today. I don't really have a show run sheet. I didn't even take any time to do any research. I think I'm a lot like a lot of you, and this is kind of the case on Friday. And I think since Friday, it's gotten worse as far as the way I feel. Just feel crappy. I don't know about you guys, but it's like I joked about this when we watched the Tiger King about how I feel like I need a shower. Well, I mean, I feel like that more in a real way today and over the weekend. Some very it just feels awful. And I think, as I mentioned to you guys on Friday, it's part of all our responsibilities, no matter where we sit on the aisle, where we stand, where we are, that we all have a responsibility here. And I'm still trying to digest it. What a 40-plus-year-old Anglo guy is supposed to do. That's kind of on the conservative side. We've done a lot of talking in our house about it. My mom and on the phone yesterday, my in-laws, just in general, and a lot of folks online. So yeah, I it's just been a real weird, and Kevin kind of chimes in here from the Twin Cities. Did I hear anything about going on in Venezuela the last few days? Yeah, I have. As a matter of fact, Simona, who you know well up there, Kevin, does a great job with to capture Twin Cities Facebook page. Phenomenal pictures that we got. I post those on Friday and Saturday from up there. Again, just crazy stuff. Sad days it is. I'll get to more of that because I think for me, and I did a lot of TV watching this afternoon again, and like we did yesterday, watch my pastor again, watch some things after yesterday's online service for us. Was out and about today a little bit. Went to the dentist, as a matter of fact. I'm going to talk about that briefly. But, I don't really know what to say. I just think disgust is probably the best thing, and I am disgusted. I don't want to talk about the politics on here, but somebody needs to speak up. And and not point fingers. Somebody needs to speak up and be that leader. And whether it be whoever it may be, at this point, I'm to the point where it doesn't matter who it is. Somebody step up. I pretty much lost, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not really worried. If I'm worried about, if my leader is somebody political, then my life's a real mess. And if that's the case, then I got to do some deep examining in myself. So when we jump too far down the road, also today, it is my brother's birthday. Yesterday was my other brother's birthday. It's the weird occurrence. My mom is an expert at this, apparently, because she's so good at pulling slot machines. Back in the day, she was so good at having kids. She had them timed out 2 years apart, 1 day apart. I mean, that's pretty hard. And that's somebody that's got some talent and skills. So let's go to her now. She's got talent and skills. She is Mom Cam. Will be joining us here as I pull the audio up. And Mom, how are you? Can you read me over?
Yes, I can read you over. And
Hello?
one of the birthday boys is here.
Well, it wouldn't be Chris because he lives here. So unless he
and you know, I have
had a surprise trip, but
you can't see my shirt, but I have superpowers, and it says I make wine disappear. What's your superpower? So there you go.
Not that. Not making wine disappear. Let's see here.
You want to say hello to your brother face to face?
Sure, why not? I think he's joining us right now. I saw him was online as well.
He's online, but he's not on Be Live, I don't think. Are you, Sam? No.
Oh, is he like on like Coach's Diagramming Plays website or something like that? Or,
probably.
Coach's Shorts Are Us. Hello, Uncle Bobby. Hello, happy birthday.
Thanks, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Over. Are you enjoying your birthday? Are you doing like Jaeger bombs of Mom or what?
No, we had to go to school for a half day today. First time since March 16th.
What'd you guys do there?
Just closed up the school year. Had to sign some documents, some papers, get my room kind of fixed up. I didn't have to be there very long. My stuff was done pretty quickly. I was already cleaned out, but yeah, it was kind of weird going back to school for the first time since March.
You know what's amazing? That our camera work here, I mean, is sort of like Apollo 1969, where we watch the spacecraft now. It looks like they're the best. They have these really good cameras, and we're like, supposedly we're on Earth, and yet it's like we're in the space. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. You notice Mom's camera work's very space-like.
I was talking to somebody today thinking, I watched that, the launch the other day, and I watched the lunar docking yesterday, whenever that was. I mean, the docking of the space station. I'm thinking, there are kids that have never seen a launch like that.
No, it's
unreal to me. I think I watched every space shuttle launch almost, every one I could at least.
Yeah, there was 100 and some odd of them, and we always stopped down for them. And even before that, younger, the Apollo missions were always big. And Caroline came down. We were watching it on Saturday. She came down for about the time it was just 8 minutes old, and we rewound it and showed her. But that's something that, she's 20 years old, and this is not a stop down thing for her, but it always was for us as kids. So, good point. What's going on with the birthday today? What do you do? What is this? You're like 42 or 3? I forget.
42.
I'm sorry, 22.
41.
And so y'all just gonna hang out there. Yeah, there's Mom. Have another Mom, please. Pour another.
we did some carry out.
So tonight. You guys gonna have a carry out? What from where?
From Texas Roadhouse. Wonderful chain from Texas.
Think of you. I
Texas,
think. Where are they from?
North Carolina or wherever.
Oh, that's right. They are from the Carolinas. I forgot.
Somewhere.
Although, it's kind of cool to go there and get you a little little flavor of the Lone Star State sometimes. Yeah, pretty good stuff there. All right. So what any big plans for the birthday week? Are you guys work, or what's going on?
Stephanie's got to get her room packed back up again, but that's the elementary teacher deal is a whole lot different. But I'm pretty much done for the week, but we're working on next year already. I got some summer contract hours I got to fulfill, so I'll do some work between here and August still. I think I got 5 days to put in, but
got you. Now you're a football coach and teacher. We talked about this often, but So what's the football schedule? Is it looking good for back on campus July, or how's that looking for you guys?
We don't know yet. What I do know is that we follow our sports programs, follow the National Federation of High School Sports or something like that, I think it's called. The federation rules for opening back up again are come in phases. So the workout, there's so many stipulations to the workouts. So like July 1st, if we go July 1st, maximum 10 athletes, 10 people at a time in a group. They can't share equipment. So if you're doing basketball, you can't pass the ball back and forth. That player has to use that ball the entire time, and they can't share that ball with somebody else. Like volleyball, you can't set it to anybody else. You got to for football, you can't throw it past somebody. You got to throw it to yourself. You got social distancing, so you can't use a spotter. So if we're in the weight room, you can't use a spotter, so you're gonna be benching by yourself, whatever. We got to take temperature every day. We got to ask them and archive questions on their health every day and put that in the spreadsheet and save it. After every group of 10 leaves, everything's got to be wiped down. They're trying to figure out, and this is something I don't know if anybody there's thought about either, but maybe it's been talked about. But schools that have field turf, they've got to disinfect the field turf after every practice. I don't know how that's even done.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't. They're saying that you like, and they were talking about it. They were talking about it in pro baseball. You can't spit. But I don't know how you all the equipment after a practice.
Well, you call Dalworth carpet cleaners, have them come out and just clean the carpet of the stadium, and how does that work? By the way, Mark Hendrick says, nice to see Sam, Brother Hendrick there in Georgia. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you are an educator of young men and women, of course, but you coach young men. You're like a lot of high schools in this country. You've got a pretty good volume of a good balance of African American and Anglo. You've got some Hispanic kids as well. I saw where your Craig Kaler, your head coach, had a really good post about, and he put up pictures of your coaches and players who are African American and how you guys are all one family. From a coaching standpoint, because you are out there competing, you're coaching. You've been doing this for almost 30 years, so you've been doing this for a long time. Your reaction, just overall, is your heart as heavy as mine is, just because you have an interaction with a lot of young men every day, and you're trying to guide them. It's got to weigh heavy on your heart.
Yeah, it makes you think. I mean, it does make you think. It's not. I've never. I'm guilty of that. I've never really not considering, but that that quote unquote. I don't. You don't see color. They're football players. They're student athletes. They're not. Sure. I don't look at them as white, Hispanic, or black. I look at them as they're football players and they're my students. But what's gotten to me is we have a guy I coach with, Kendrick Jordan, coach our linebackers, and I'm like, and after seeing last week's deal, I'm like, I don't know what it's like to be Kendrick Jordan. I don't know. I can't even talk to him and say, hey, I know how you feel. When I get pulled over, I don't have to worry about getting arrested or getting beat up, getting shot. I don't have to worry about my kids' safety when they're out. I don't have to worry about any of that. Not that it's going on everywhere, but I don't know what it feels like. And it pains me to think about these guys I've coached and these guys I'm coaching right now that are living with this, and I don't know where it goes. I don't know what the solution is, but it's not a it does cause a heavy heart. It makes you think, but I don't know. I don't know where it goes from here. I know that I have some ideas, but they're probably not worth mentioning here because I think we got to find a way in Washington D.C. to get rid of career politicians. I think that career politicians, that's part of it. I don't think government. Yeah. I don't think that political office was intended to be a career.
Right.
We got 30-year career politicians that aren't doing anything for anything, not just the racial part of it, but I don't know. There's so many different avenues to it, and all I know is that we can love each other, and if we start by doing that and love everybody, then I think that goes a long way. But I don't know.
Yeah, I would. I think you're right on. I binge watched the Grant miniseries History Channel. It was a 3-night event last week, but I watched it yesterday afternoon. It's about 6 hours, but with TV, it's really much about 3 hours of TV because half of it's commercials. Anyway, the one thing I remember that I took away from that third episode was, Ulysses S. Grant became our president, after, Lincoln was assassinated. Then, was it Johnson? Is that not Johnson? I mean, the vice president took over, but I should know this. We just watched it, but he became the president following Lincoln, at least the next election. And Grant, back in those days, there was no term limits. Most of the time, these guys served 2 terms, and of course, Roosevelt didn't. But Grant even said that he was done. He wasn't a career politician, and 2 terms is enough. That was enough for him. He had done his job. He'd done his duty. He wanted to go back and just live his life. He'd gone from he went from a soldier to a civilian, back to a soldier, back to a politician. Now you want to be a civilian again. And I think they're right onto something. I think a lot of times maybe we'd be better served a random farmer or machinist or whoever runs the White House for the government for a couple of years and lets them go about their business. I think you're right. Career politicians are just ridiculous. But very good point you brought up. And I thought the tweet that you guys did too, that Craig Kaler did, was phenomenal. I really loved it. And that was really, I knew it touched you a lot with that whole deal and all that. So good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff right there. So it looks like to be a challenge to play football in some form. I think some of this will change a little bit, but I think, at least I guess it's state by state. But I guess the good news is if you guys can't pass the ball, you just run it like the old wing tee.
yeah. Well, I know what that Elkhart County was on the news last week again. We were one of the top 10 highest counties in COVID rate last week. So I'm not sure that we're not going to get out
that's a good idea
county for a while still.
Yeah, it's weird too because here I went out and got the dentist this morning, and I was in the dentist I went. It was a 6'4", like a 10-story building, and I walk in. There was some construction remodeling going on in the lobby, and some of those workers had on masks. Some of them didn't. Well, a security guy did, but I went to the 6th floor, and I come out of the elevator, and there's a woman you can see right into this law office. And she's right there, no mask on. There's a lawyer coming out. He's got no mask on. He's walking the hallways. I went to the doctor's office, and they've got the plexiglass up, and I had the mask on, and I had the mask on until I went and got my mouth examined, and both the doctors had masks and all. And my hygienist, I couldn't tell what she looked like. I don't know. I couldn't figure out a police lineup now. I never really saw her face because she was totally covered. The point is, when I came out, went back to the restroom and washed my hands and all that, there was 2 dudes with no mask on who work in the building. So, I'm like, well, I guess the thing is everybody's doing their own thing. And that's the one that I guess that was kind of scares me a little bit because I trust you, or I trust me, but I don't trust you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know if, we still don't know exactly what school looks like in the fall in Indiana. I don't know. I understand that there's a plan or there's recommendations being made, and the governor has those on his desk supposedly. But what nobody knows what those look like yet, and I'm not sure. If we're not in school in person, I don't know how you have high school football.
I think that's yeah.
And there's a chance that we're not in school in person, and I don't know what that So that part is from what I saw from the National Federation in terms of the phases of opening again and practicing again. I'm like, there's some schools that aren't going to be able that aren't going to do that, and if schools aren't going to follow the guidelines, you're putting everybody else at risk. It's just going to be a big cluster, and nobody knows exactly what's.
Nobody knows yet. So I think we're planning right now is July we'll have some workouts. It's not going to be what we thought even 2 weeks ago. It's going to be a very limited. Well, the first phase 1, high risk coaches and players aren't supposed to participate. Well, hell, I'm in several of those categories. I'm not. I guess I shouldn't be at workouts. So I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know if anybody knows what's happening yet. But I think there's a chance that the wishful thinking is going to end up being
not the case. Maybe I don't know for a fact, but I'm not sure how colleges can do it financially. And I don't, because it's going to be. I think we'll see at the college level the haves and have-nots. Those conferences that have the money are going to be able to isolate, test, and play. Those that don't have the money are going to say we're going to sit out this year. So you're going to see a Power 5. You're going to see a Power 5 that's going to play football, and some that aren't.
Well, look at the LSU or A&M or University of Texas, I even say Texas Tech at 60,000 seats in their stadium, they could probably, put in 25,000 and still be okay. University of Texas or Kyle Field and College Station seats 100,000 people. I'm not saying they can make big revenue there, but at 50,000, they can make some revenue. And then they've also got their suites and their VIP seating, which they can make endless money there. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's going to be a moneymaker, but look at them as compared to maybe, I'll use SMU. SMU's got a great little stadium over here behind us, about 10 minutes away, seats 30,000. But if they got to put 10,000 or 15,000 in there, that's a huge disparity already. They already have a huge disparity already and financially. Yeah. And suddenly they're hoping to get by is by revenue of their skyboxes. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. I mean, because 90,000 people at LSU Stadium or whatever it is might be 50,000, but a stadium that's 50,000, it might be 20,000. So some of your revenues are really going to be out of whack, and that creates an interesting dilemma. But anything
you can see a Power 5 football schedule, and that's it. I mean that's it'll be interesting. I don't know. It's but there's so many unknowns still. It looks like colleges want to open up. That sounds like more and more of opening up and saying that, hey, we're going to open up, but if you feel like you want to go online, there's an option for that. You can take the class in person, you take the class online.
Sure.
Here's your option.
Sure.
Trying to minimize the contact on campus. It looks like all the colleges around here are starting to, even the smaller the Division III schools are starting to move to this model, like Notre Dame did. Notre Dame starting school August 10th, and they're running straight through to Thanksgiving, and then they're done. They're not giving a fall break. They're not giving they're done before Thanksgiving. So get students to campus, isolate them on campus, try to keep the risk down, and then Thanksgiving, you're done, go back home, and we'll try it again next semester type of thing. And it looks, I think Ball State has said they're going to do that. Trine University, which is in Angola, small Division III school, is going to do that. So it looks like you're seeing more and more of those people that are colleges are going to try to get them to campus and then isolate as much as they can, and then go from there. So I don't know, but we can't in Indiana.
What you and Steph.
Well, and what they're saying now is that if we don't play football in the fall, especially in high school football in Indiana in the fall, that the Indiana High School Athletic Association will be in a huge financial trouble. They'll be laying off people. Because the tournament, the Indiana football tournament, is the biggest revenue generator in the state of Indiana. Believe it or not, it generates more revenue than Indiana high school basketball, which is surprising. But if they don't have that, they didn't finish the tournament last year for basketball. Without having a football tournament, they're going to be in trouble financially. They already got some CARES Act money, I think, to get started and to get over some hump anyway. So we'll see. But
what you as a teacher and what Stephanie does as a teacher, and of course my wife GM does, you guys have done a phenomenal job. I was just amazing, because all of a sudden you're in the middle of the semester, and whether it be high schoolers or kindergartners, or suddenly everything you've done before is now totally different, and you guys have all somehow gotten through it, and I'm proud of you. And you guys, without the first responders and the nurses and doctors and our teachers, we'd be in one big S storm already. If we're not already, we've been a bigger S storm, bigger pile of it. So I appreciate it.
We literally left school on a Friday, and by the following Wednesday, we were e-learning. We left school on Friday thinking, hey, school's we're normal.
That's crazy. Well, the good news is you got a pool in the backyard, so for your birthday, go out and do a cannonball or something like that. Exciting, right?
It's nice here tomorrow, yeah.
I mean, that'd be kind of. This will be all right. So, well, happy birthday, and I hope you guys have a great evening. I've got to sing to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Uncle Bobby, Slick Shoes, Cool Sammy, Coach Vaughn. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, brother. Hope you have a good one, man.
Thanks. Love you.
All right. Love you. Love you. There we go. That's Uncle Bobby. That's my brother right there up in Indiana. It's his birthday. Of course, he appeared on Mom Cam. Mom got a short segment today. She got short change, but that's okay. She'll be back on Wednesday, and or when we do this on Wednesday, but all good for Mom. Anyway, it's 87 degrees in the Metroplex. 72 is the day here for us in our house. Some of you are probably in 80s, and some of you are back to work again, whatever. A couple things here, getting caught up here on Virtual Happy Hour. Glad you're along. Wherever you're watching us, even on replay. Yes, very good. Joe's Diner, which I love. Joe's Diner, by the way. Great place. Been on TV as well. I don't know. Again, as I said in the open, I'm at a loss. I mean, I'm at a loss for a lot of this stuff. I mean, we live in the city of Dallas. We're in Preston Hollow, which is middle North Dallas. We're in a day like today, a normal day, normal non-pandemic day, where it'll be rush hour traffic and the freeways about a mile from us. It's a pretty heavy north-south artery, right? It'd be a 30-minute commute downtown, even on a traffic day. We're not that far though, as far as a bird flies, or the train system, the mass transit. It takes us probably from our house in the mass transit, which is stops 5 minutes from us, and from there it probably takes 10, 15 minutes to get downtown, the train at the most. I mean, we're not that far away, but we're still far enough away that we just avoided being in the curfew zone, although just south of us they were. And I talked to a buddy of mine today who works at a place down in Lower Greenville, and their business is they just opened up again a week ago, and now they're kind of coming and going as the wind blows and this whole other thing. So that's another deal. So anyway, glad you guys are on. Melanie, Kevin, everybody else, Uncle Bobby. And Kevin, good point. I know Kevin, of course, from my baseball work with the American Association in Kansas, our team in Kansas City. He's in St. Paul, or the Twin Cities area just south there, and pretty much every market. Yes, I saw that. Every market in the league on the U.S. side, except for, I don't know about Winnipeg, but on the U.S. side has had protesting. Yes, I saw it. See Georgette checking in. She's at NWI, Northwest Indiana, and they've had a little bit of something going on. Of course, saw Fargo, Sioux Falls, Sioux City, the Omaha, Lincoln. Of course, Kansas City had some major issues in the Plaza area down there last couple of nights, and that was a little rough. And I hope you folks in Kansas City are watching. Don and others, I hope you guys are doing well. Miss you guys. And then down here in Texas, of course, Dallas and Fort Worth. Fort Worth, not as much of craziness. It's been a little tamer. It's been mostly downtown Dallas, a little bit in Austin, some in San Antonio, but for the most part, Houston and Fort Worth have been sort of on the sort of out of the woods a little bit. Let's see here. Kevin says, I miss the old days. Let me see if I can pull this up. A little glare. When the curfew meant an inning. Yeah. It used to be for Kevin and I's business. When we have a curfew, that meant, okay, we can't begin an inning after midnight, or some places 1 a.m. And yes, we had the curfew come up one year in Winnipeg, and we actually had to finish the game the next day because it went past 1 a.m. in Winnipeg. And Winnipeg being, even on a Saturday night in Winnipeg, ain't a lot of places open to eat at 1 o'clock in the morning after a ball game in Winnipeg. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Good to see Sandy and Thomas down up there as well, Chicago and North Dallas, or the northern part of the Metroplex. Glad you guys are along. Again, usually I script this thing. I mean, I'll script it a little bit, not say script it, but I have some topics out there. Mom jumped on, but today being my brother's birthday, I wanted him to jump on, and I wish him happy birthday. My other brother, Chris, his birthday was yesterday. Mom was about as spot on as she could be, with the 2 years apart, and one June 1st and one May 31st. And the oldest is second, the youngest is first. How about that? But always a cool time of year. As growing up as a kid, I remember this was always fun because my brothers had birthday parties back-to-back days, oftentimes on a weekend before, a weekend after. And they'd have a Friday, like a Saturday and a Sunday birthday party, which meant for me, as the older brother, I got a chance to tag along, and we went to Penny Whistle Park or the Speedway or bumper cars or whatever, miniature golf, bowling alley, whatever we were doing. I got 2 bonus round activities back to back. It was always great. I wasn't getting birthday presents, but I got to tag along and usually bring a friend or two. So that was always kind of cool. But I remember growing up as a kid, always enjoying having my brother's birthdays back to back. Of course, mine is in September, so a little ways away for that, but it's kind of cool. So all good there. Again, hope you guys do well. You guys fire off anything you want to talk about. Obviously the biggest thing is what's going on. I mean, I read an article in the Atlantic today. Don't read a lot of the Atlantic, but I thought it was pretty interesting. The parallels between 1968 and 2020. I was alive in 68, although just don't remember anything in 68. As WD-40 will come out and join us in a moment. But interesting parallels there. And I thought my brother was very good about what he said. And I think all of us, especially us that are the my mom is back on again. Hold on. What do you? Hold on just a second. Hold on. We're doing this live on camera. I go back to Indiana. What is going on? What is the scene there now? There's you're going to put your head in the cake.
Yeah,
So we
we
put the
said
head in the
happy
cake.
birthday to him, and he actually has enough breath to blow out the candles. Bye.
Okay. Well. Okay. You guys enjoy. See ya. All right. That was sound like fun. I'm gonna bring my wife in. I guess what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave this one on me and put it between us, and we'll see if it works and how the audio is. If you guys, let me know if you're hearing both of us. I'm gonna move around here. Let the dog slide over. Oops, sorry about that. I have another microphone we could use, but I'm gonna try to keep this one between us to kind of use it as more of a back and forth because you guys can hear me and I'm seeing this. Give me a test there. 1, 2.
Test.
There we go. So if you guys can hear me, that's all good. Tim says they supposedly found a stockpile of rocks and bricks down in the plaza. Very sad. Yeah, that's happened here too. I don't know.
Some of those have been explained. I saw that there were reasons for some of those, and they've even gone and removed some of them. At least I heard that there were some in Frisco, and they've removed those.
He's in Kansas City, man.
Oh,
Plaza's in Kansas City.
well, I know where the plaza is. I'm just saying that here they've said that some of those piles of bricks were there for a reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I watched listened to the radio this morning here in Dallas sports station, and they talked about there was a pile that was there back in February. Just leave that alone, dear. Was back on a pile back in February on Google Earth, but some of them the police couldn't explain, and there was some rumors going around, and granted, there are rumors that folks are checking into hotels and checking out a few hours later, things of that nature. But again,
Yeah.
apparently most of the Dallas arrests, at least what I saw this morning, most of the arrests they had that they'd processed were mostly local. So that theory of that the out-of-towners may not be the case. But of course, here, you've got 8 million people live in this metroplex, and they could still come from an hour away and still be in the metroplex and still be from out of town. So technically, they could be from way across the metroplex and still come away.
There's good that a lot of people are fed up and empathize with our Black brothers and sisters, although I'm not a fan of the violence. And I think that even hearing Terrence Floyd speak today saying my brother wouldn't want violence, and calling on the people to end the violence, but to continue to protest until things get better. I think that's a good message. But you were saying earlier that we just need some effective leadership, which we really haven't seen.
Yeah, it's weird. Again, our pastor, we go to a church, Park Cities Baptist, which is 5 minutes from here, whatever. Our pastor there, Jeff Warren, is progressive in the city of Dallas as far as race reconciliation, the race divide, things. He's been very forward in that. I've been a member there since 2011, 12, somewhere in there, and I've just been that way. We actually partner with the church in the southern part of the city, which is a predominantly African American church. We've been partnering with them for years. We even do a great thing every spring. We didn't do it this year because of COVID, but we'll actually send our pastor and our worship team and our choir and all of them. They go down the south and they send all their folks up to us. It's really a cool time. One of the highlights of our church experience. But Jeff's been very, very big about it. And the things he keeps saying about the white moderate, which would kind of be what we are. I mean, we're conservative, I think, to a degree, but we're kind of, and again, what do we say? What do we do? What can we make a difference and how? And like my brother just said, Sam just said a moment ago, we have no idea. We got no idea what those shoes are like. And we can't profess to say, hey, we do know. And no more than I can profess to say, I know how you're feeling if you lost your cat or your dog. Yes, I may have lost my cat or my dog too, but I have no idea really how you feel inside because I'm not inside you.
Well, and because it's ongoing.
Sure.
I mean, that's the thing that's the hardest part.
I'm not trying to make light of the situation. I'm just saying that I don't know how anybody.
You were talking about Grant and how much progress on the road to reconstruction that was made during his administration and how that came to a halt, and then it just got worse and worse in the South. And when you think about an entire segment of the population who's just been impeded every step of the way, I mean, just I can empathize with the enough is enough.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I didn't realize this either. We watched the Grant series. The History Channel had it was last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I recorded it. We watched it.
Really good.
6 hours of TV and 2.5 or whatever, or 3 hours, whatever. But I didn't.
A lot.
Oh, and I was telling Mike Hare this earlier today. We were texting back and forth. A friend of mine here in Dallas, and he was talking about what a great show it was too. And there were a lot of little things I didn't know about Grant. I think because he's been overshadowed to a degree, a little bit.
Lincoln, for sure.
Yeah, well, that time period, the history time period, it's Lincoln. It's kind of like going back to the whole George Washington kind of got all the hero accolades, and Thomas Jefferson. But a lot of folks forget about Alexander Hamilton. And then, of course, the Hamilton musical changed a little bit of that. But for a long time, he was kind of the guy that, oh, yeah, I know the name, and he's on the $2 bill. And I think Grant's kind of the same guy. He's on the bill, the $50 bill, but outside of that, we know he Civil yeah, we don't either. Civil War winning general, but most of the history, at least as a Southerner, you got the Robert E. Lee mystique, that whole deal. I didn't realize that Grant came from a real humble beginnings. He was not a career military guy. He was not the upper class in general.
But West Point.
But a West Point guy. And he went to West Point basically on his dad writing an entrance application for him, and he got in, and he didn't even know his dad applied for him. So got it back in those days. He was a great horseman, which was served him well on his career. But what I didn't realize, and this is something I thought I kind of knew, the stories of the Reconstruction of the South. And I took a lot of Southern history classes at Tech, and I thought I knew more about this, but I didn't realize that once he was out of office, that whole thing fell apart, and the whole birth of some of the white supremacist groups that were still around today came from that time period. And I didn't realize that his stabling force was that big of a deal, but apparently it was. So anyway,
and a lot of the work in my SMU human rights program, we talk a lot about the people who, whose voices haven't been heard. They're certainly one group. But as a teacher, you were talking about Sam, and as a teacher, I think it behooves all of us to make sure that we tell our kids the whole story.
Sure.
And I know at St. Mark's that we, as a department, as an English department, work very hard to have diverse voices and to encourage our boys to read lots of perspectives, not just that of dead white males. Not that all dead white males are bad, but to include voices that are diverse, because it's very important. We're better because of it, and can be better neighbors and friends and citizens.
Yeah, it's weird. I even told her yesterday, or maybe this morning, our walk this morning, it's not too hard to figure out probably what side of the aisle I voted for over the years, but I'm to the point now where I know we are exercise our right to vote, and the whole thing of if you don't vote, you only blame yourself. Well, yeah, you know what? If I don't vote, it's my not voting is blaming. I'm not going to blame myself for either result, because, quite frankly, neither result is too appealing. It's almost the same. It's almost the same thing that happened last. And I'm not.
Well, particularly as a woman, let me just chime in as a woman. When you have two presidential candidates who have such deplorable records when it comes to treatment of women, I don't know. It just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth. How we don't always see eye to eye on stuff like this, but there's no way. I mean, it's sad as somebody who's been a Republican for a long time to feel like I don't have a home there. It's sad.
Well, and I think that's the thing. I mean, both of us. I mean, I may come around to now and then, but right now.
Well, not for him. I don't think you'll come around for that.
I mean, but I'm just saying I don't want to vote for either one. And again, I don't want to get in this hole, because I know a lot of people are going to probably go crazy, because I got
Send us the hate mail.
Well, I got a lot of friends who think I'm probably crazy for even saying this, but I may sit it out. I may sit the presidential election out and vote for
Well,
my locals and vote for my state.
Yeah. Leave the top blank, but vote for everything else.
Yes.
People that can make a difference and that will listen.
I just don't know that. I just don't know that any. Put it this way, this is something that our pastor said as well. Whoever's in the White House doesn't change how.
Your local leaders.
Well, doesn't change who I firmly believe in, right?
True.
Doesn't change my life, my life's worth, my life's work, my life's goal. And I'm not worshiping the person in the White House. And at the same time, it's like I used to joke around when I tell the Australians this all the time. When I remember when I was over in Australia for the first would have been when Obama got elected the first time, and it was a lot of people. And one of the biggest things you learn overseas, and if you've traveled overseas extensively, you get asked a lot about politics in the States. Even the Commonwealth countries, they're amazed at how our political system works. And they always want to know that they get a lot of insight into you, A, where you're from, and B, the politics. And I was asked over and over again more political questions. And it happens now, even when I go to Australia now, even during, even this last spring, I was asked time and time again about our political system. And I've always kind of tongue-in-cheekly joked a little bit, maybe this is where I'm coming from, that, well, as long as Texas stays the same and Texas doesn't change, doesn't harm my home, then they can do whatever they want. So that may be my attitude
But
again.
there are some things I think that Texas does need to change.
Well,
And I think
yes, I'm
that's
not
one
saying
of the
that's not the
things
case,
that
but-
all of the protests have been saying, that we need to make sure that, if you don't like either option at the top, I think what he's saying, it's not that he's not going to vote.
Right,
He just won't vote in that top spot.
right.
But
Skip
he's
that.
going to try to elect people that can make a difference for everybody instead of for a select few.
Minnesota State Fair is back on. It's going to be called a protest. Thousands can legally gather together. I love that. Hey,
That's
actually,
funny.
you know what? That's good. That's good, Kevin.
There you go. I think you're onto
You
something.
may have been to come see Big Tex after all.
There you go.
I do have a couple observations, honey, about the day. I went out tonight. I don't know if you've seen this, but you went out today a little bit too.
I had to get my dead ends cut off.
I went to Preston Center is a pretty busy area around lunchtime, and I came out about 12:10, 12:15 for my dental appointment. And it was it looked like a normal lunchtime for the most. Shh, relax, bud. It's not helping out matters at all, buddy.
He's just saying hi.
But it was crazy because I came out and it looked sort of normal. But even being in the building, though, it's a 10-story building.
He wants to say hello.
He's saying hello. I know, but there's nothing for you, bud. You're just causing trouble. Right, hold on. You're just causing trouble, pal. Come here. Get him on the video. Get him on the video there. Oh, we're on the wrong video camera. That's why.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. You want to be up here?
All right. Well, I guess we're not in the video camera. It's weird. Anyway, it was weird because I was in the doctor's office, Canine Cologne, buddy. Most folks, well, not most, they were all wearing their mask, but walking around the building, people were just cruising around. The people that worked there were like, eh.
I wore mine.
I went. This is the weird thing. Okay, I went to the men's room and it had there's the two urinals and the 2 stalls and the 2 sinks, generic office men's room, right? And I walk in mask. I've just had a bunch of hand sanitizers. I left the office. I'm in the mask, and I go in there, and I'm keeping my distance from the guy doing his thing at the stall or at the urinal.
TMI.
Another guy goes in and does his thing, and then we got to set the scene though. But I'm like making sure I'm not close to them, and they didn't seem to be too concerned about me. They didn't seem to be concerned about anything. They were like, shoulder to shoulder, didn't matter. And I'm like dodging it was the first first restroom I've been into.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
In 70 some odd days, where I'm thinking, do I gotta, want to watch my P's and Q's literally?
Your bee.
Yeah, but, I mean, it was a weird. I'm like in there, it was like if you're a Metroplex person, you'll know this reference. It was like the Start Club back in 1980s. The Start Club was a famous nightclub here in Dallas that had co-ed unisex bathrooms for the 80s. That was a big deal, especially in the
Or
South.
if you were at the Scrap Bar in New York City.
Well, but in the South in the 80s and Dallas in the 80s, being in a unisex bathroom was not something that a lot of folks grew up doing. And I'm standing there kind of like against the wall, like,
There weren't women in that bathroom.
no, but it was the first time I felt
uncomfortable.
alarmed. I mean,
In the
because
bathroom.
I had not been, I was in public. I went to Starbucks on Saturday, and that's pretty easy. They got the plexiglass up, they got social distancing, they got all the booze blocked off, and everybody, I was kind of cool to go in there, but I had my mask on, and everything was, I had their mask on. But this is the first time I've been in a building where the majority of the people weren't wearing masks. And I mean, it was half of them were not wearing masks, I should say. Not majority. That was really odd. Like I said, I went in the men's room. There's 3 of us in there, and I'm all social distancing and washing my hands 4 or 5 times before the act and after the act. And these guys are just, they were doing their normal lives. So I guess my impression today was, I guess it depends on who you are. I guess it's all you do you, right? Is that kind of what it is? Is that how it was out for you?
Yeah, but that's a dangerous philosophy. No, I mean, everybody. It was just me that ran in to get my hair trimmed, and my hairdresser was in her mask and I was in mine, and
Gotcha.
it didn't take long, and I left because I was just getting it trimmed.
Connie says maybe we need a write-in candidate.
There
you go. Kevin Luca. No, Joey Zanaboni, not for president. No, sir.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, not doing that, sir.
LCR. Should I know what that means? 2020.
Cleveland Railroaders 2020, but it's inside about the whole. Yeah. Anyway, all good, very good stuff. But anyway, so that was the just. We're all safe. Hope you guys are safe and doing well. Again, I didn't have a lot today because this whole A, my brother's birthday, both brothers' birthdays, and B, trying the new gear out, which apparently is doing pretty good. Although this is not the way we're not supposed to work like. Although it might. Let's just do a couple minutes right here with it right there.
See if it works.
Just leave it right. Don't touch
in the middle.
Yeah, yes, I'm leaving it right there. It looks like the VU is picking up too. There's some cheats on this. This is really cool. This is actually a really cool little lav mic. This is a microphone. And it's wireless, and it's connected to a little piece. And I'm wearing here.
Are you charging this one?
No, I need to, but I'm running. I mean, it's on the last legs, but I didn't. I spent an hour on the phone with AT&T today, which ain't got nothing accomplished in that. But I've got another cool mic. That's another. We have 2 wireless mics basically now, which is all good. But this one I was trying out because I really wanted to. This is like a revolutionary little deal here. So I'm moving around there, but all good. So we're stuck in the water. There you go. There you go. Let's see. My 2 nephews are in law enforcement. The abuse they take is unbelievable. There's so many good cops never get their due. You know, I saw this. There was a what is his name? I think it's. Oh gosh, I started following him on Twitter today. I don't know his music. He's from the UK. Let me see if I can find him. I found it very, very interesting. What is his name? Let's see if I can find it. I want to say it's like Zupy or something like that. Zupy, and he's he's British rapper. I wouldn't know much about rap music anyway, but he was very interesting. He said the very same thing, Connie. He said that, he's traveled the world. He's met great people everywhere. He's met great people of all races everywhere, great people of all jobs everywhere. He said he's met great people everywhere. He's also met some jerks, and I thought that was interesting that was a guy that says, hey, they're good people. And the one thing I remember from C.S. Lewis is he used to talk about, they're from a religious standpoint, they're bad people that are Christian, and they're bad people that am I saying right? Bad people that are bad people who aren't Christians. They're Christians who are bad people, and I think that this guy was onto something. He said, I've been all around the world, and I've been treated with great respect and love, and I've had some bad experiences too, and. I think the key is that we talked about on Friday.
The heart of man.
And the love of man, the love of our common man. So, gotta go cops. You know what? I've actually watched, Kevin. There's been some riveting stuff done by some of the local I call it on the ground media folks that are kind of their small media operations there in the Twin Cities. And I was riveted to the TV on Friday night late and Saturday night late. Some of the I was telling you. Sunday morning, some of the stuff was going. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was something I've never seen. Have a good one, Kevin. We'll see you guys. See you on Wednesday.
Bye, Kevin.
Night. And let's see. We close things out. Peaceful protest is one thing. Lord, yes, I agree. I mean, a dear friend, a fraternity brother of mine, who's family. This is a family that's been doing business in this city for 70 some odd years.
Say 100, maybe.
His grandfather came over here at the turn of the last century. his great grandfather. His grandfather started the restaurant, the Campese's restaurant. It was been in the family since the 1950s, probably. I know my dad was when he was a junior high and high schooler.
Yeah, my parents did too.
They've got restaurants now all around the metro. Well, not all around. They're not like every corner, but he's got 6 or 7 locations around. And I know David. He's a phenomenal guy, family guy. The family's phenomenal. And he posted a video of folks for no reason at all going to his business downtown, which was closed, throwing bricks to the building, running into his place, carrying out bottles of booze and whatever they get their hands on, and just because they could.
Well,
And,
they couldn't, but they did.
well, because they could. And that's like I saw there was a comment today on the news. It was
I
a
hope
woman
they track them down.
carrying stacks of Nike shoes out of a sporting goods store just because she could. It doesn't make it
Yeah,
right. That's the
meanwhile,
thing.
there are people who've lost their jobs and like need clothes for their children, and they can't get I don't know. There's just, we've forgotten. I mean, I mentioned this earlier, just the whole idea of like that there's still this pandemic going on. It just is. I just don't think I would be out in a big group.
No, maybe not. Again, and I'm not. The whole. I mean, if you're not sick at your stomach about watching the George Floyd video, then there's something wrong with you.
Correct.
And we all know. We can all attest to that. I mean, it's sickening. A guy who I like a lot on the radio here in Dallas, African Americans, said today in his show. He said he can't even get through the whole video.
No, I can't imagine if I were.
And I can tell you right now, I haven't gotten the whole video. I don't want to. Maybe I should, but that's one thing.
It's awful.
Terrible. It's and I mentioned on Friday. I mean, I remember a story. I told you this story. I'll tell this story. Cousin Carl may remember this if he checks in at some point. I got rolled as a catcher. I was little, 5th grade, probably 4th grade. I got rolled as a catcher, which means, back in those days, now they changed the baseball rules, but here comes the ball in. I caught it, and the guy's rounding third. And back in the old days, you had to brace for the collision, and it ended guys' careers. I mean, the Ray Fosse collision with Pete Rose, that's a famous collision of the All-Star game. I mean, I'm bracing this collision. I got rolled. I mean, literally got rolled, and I'm flailing back. I held the ball. My mask is over here. My shin guards. I look like a cartoon character. And the pitcher's name, Damien, and he was African American. He was really good. And I was seeing, it was hot. It was a summer, summer, June, whatever, evening about this time, and I was kind of seeing stars. The first person, to be in my defense was that pitcher. And it's like my brother said a while ago, as a coach, as a team, you don't see that. And I think the athletes get it. I think guys like, the LSU kid Burrows gets it. I think ball players get it. They've seen, they've been with these guys, and they've seen what kind of teammates they are, what they've seen, you've been touched with it. I remember that experience because I'm laying there, and Damien's trying to just take this guy's head off, that just rolled me. And he's one of the kids. And we basically at 5th grade had almost, which you don't have little league benches playing brawls. We almost did in little league back in this is back in the late 70s. And that was my real first experience. I went to school. My school didn't have any white kids in it, and I didn't. But I was in a small private school. I went to play when I went and played little league. I went in the pool of all the kids that kind of didn't have places to go. Sure. So I was playing in another neighborhood, and it didn't bug me. And I played soccer with those guys, against those guys, and with those guys in high school even. It was, half the team was African American.
That's the wonderful thing about athletics.
That's what I'm saying. And that's my point.
Yeah.
I think the perspective is, it's like I told you with Jeff Wainwright.
People as people, not
Jeff Wainwright was talking about the Nationals pitcher, was talking about his adopted son on Friday, and about how he adopted a biracial child, and he was talking about he's white, he and his wife are white, and they've got 4 white children. They got a little toddler, and he was worried about that. And so I think athletes get it more. And this is maybe the one time I'd actually say, because usually when Hollywood folks speak up, if I'm taking my pulses from what a Hollywood person has to say, then I'm losing my mind too. But and a lot of times politically, athletes, I'm kind of the same way. As a broadcaster, what I say is just me spouting what I say. My listeners don't care my political views. They don't care. They're not listening to me because I'm political rant. They listen because I describe the game and I give them the color of the game and I paint a picture. That's my job, not to be a political analyst. And the ball player plays and the actor acts and so on. I think this is a great time for folks. My brother being the case. And I wish I could find that tweet, but it was Concord High School's head coach, Craig Kaler. tweeted that. And it's a great little tweet. And again, you're seeing athletes step up of all sports.
Yeah, they get it.
And they get it.
They
I
get
think
it.
until you've competed and
They get it.
until you've competed side by side with somebody and gone to battle with them or whatever, I think it changes your whole perspective.
Yeah, your mom just mentioned that Mahomes had something to say. I saw that too. Mahomes had a really good tweet about it as well.
And he's a guy here's a guy that's from East Texas, which is pretty conservative, I would say. More toward the south as far as location than it is toward the west. I mean, you go to East Texas, there are some towns in East Texas that are no different than being in the deepest part of the South. I mean, it can be that way. When he grew up, he's from a biracial family. His father's phenomenal. Pat Mahomes Sr., phenomenal guy. I've never met his mother, but his father is just talked to him at length. And Patrick's a phenomenal guy, but he's came out, and I think people will listen though. Maybe that's where we need to go. Maybe that's the answer. Is we had to have the athletes speak out because dang it, our politicians are going to speak out. But at the same time, they're going to point fingers, say, "Hey, it's your fault."
They keep blaming everybody. That's the thing. It's just like, just own it and say we've done wrong. I'm sorry. How about an apology?
I mean, I don't care. Here's the deal: when the president comes out and says what he says, and by the time he also throws the mayors under the bus, that ain't no good for anybody. Then when Biden comes out and says, "Oh, Trump, you're an idiot," and what?
It's not helpful.
They're not helpful either. None of that's helping. Let's do anything but make both sides even. All that does is aggravate the one side more and the other side more. We're in the middle, going, "What the heck are you people doing? What's wrong is wrong," and it's pretty simple. And I almost want to tweet today. This is where, and I can't believe I haven't gotten this far because this is not like me. My wife knows this. This is not like me. But I wanted to send a direct message to him today on Twitter and say, "Look, I'm begging you. I'm begging you to say something.
Say sorry.
Something besides point a finger.
Something
I
other
want
than
to write
Antifa.
I want to write an email and say, cry a little bit, show some mercy.
Be a man. Be a human.
And I'm not talking about being in a bunker. The bunker thing doesn't bug me because if you guys know your history during 9/11, I mean, when President Bush was flying across the country, where was Dick Cheney? He was in the bunker.
Yeah.
They were in the bunker because they weren't sure. That's what you do. That's what we do to protect our seat of government. I'm not really worried about him being in the bunker. That doesn't bug me. That's what you do when there's security issues. Can you imagine if that was to happen? Something was happening to him? I mean, what a mess.
Don't make me say anything.
I'm just saying. I mean, it was like I said, 1968. That's the one difference. Is different now.
Yeah.
I mean, 1968 had a lot of that, and that's just we don't need any more of that. We need to stop it in this tracks now and get to where we can, like I said, love each other again, and that's what we got to do. So I mean, I really was tempted today, but I knew
Good word.
probably that he wouldn't answer me anyway.
No.
But he's got everyone. But it's the point. I just want to go look. I mean, all I'm asking you, because I'm telling you.
If it was his son.
Well, if it is your advisor,
Or his brother.
surely one of the advisors is going to say, "Look." Surely one of the Biden's advisors is going to. If I'm advising either one of those guys,
Be a human. Have a heart.
exactly. I mean, you can't. There's no reason. There's no reason to at this moment to point fingers. It's not. I mean, this is no more Biden's fault than it's Trump's fault. Either one of their faults. I'm not blaming them for it. It's not their fault. Whose fault it was a knucklehead idiot cop in the Twin Cities that had no business doing that.
And the latest autopsy said that it
Yes.
was asphyxiation, so they probably can get him for murder.
So I mean,
Murder one, which would be great.
So I mean,
Hope it sticks.
I don't know. My rants today, I guess, just the thing is, it's just
It's crazy time.
even without a script, I was able to go an hour. So
Yeah, we should stop talking.
yeah, Wednesday, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for dinner here. But Wednesday, we will have the. I mean, I don't know what we'll.
Hopefully there'll be good news on Wednesday.
Between now and Wednesday, who knows? I mean, baseball looks like they're going to be a mess. I got a show to prepare for. I'm not sure what I'm going to prepare for.
Why don't you just juggle?
Japanese League preview perhaps on Wednesday at lunch. I don't know. I'm running out of guests, to be honest with you. But just
You could have your owner.
what?
You could have your owner
I don't know why would you say that on the air?
because you talked about wanting to have him on.
Anyway, okay. Well, thanks for playing, babe. We'll let you go. Go. Don't you have something to do? Love you.
You don't.
That is the old visual, the cartoon of Bugs Bunny with that little she just got jerked on the stage. Her. I love my wife. All right, guys. On Wednesday, I no promises of what's going to happen on the show. Maybe, who knows? We're going to, between now and then, actually, we may actually get out of the house tomorrow. I haven't even told my wife this. We may actually get out of the house tomorrow evening and try an early evening on the town, perhaps. We've ventured out the yogurt shop, but we've not ventured out further than that. I don't know if we'll go dancing, but all good. Happy birthday to my brother Chris yesterday and to Sam today. Love you guys both. Very proud of y'all. My brother here in Dallas, as a matter of fact, his wife, she is a doctor here and was been pretty busy until recently when she had surgery on her ankle, and hope she's doing better. But then, of course, they live about 10 minutes from us, something like that. My brother in Indiana. I'm very happy today. I'm glad you guys joined me today. I know it was, I don't know where the phone went. Oh, there it is. Again, thank you for indulging me and letting me just kind of just go. It was good, therapeutic, just to talk about it with my wife. And I think what's helped us is talking about it as a couple, talking about it, and not avoiding it. This is a place I could easily come out and made some jokes, but I don't know if that's the right thing. And it may be Wednesday. I may have a heavy heart still. I'm going to have a heavy heart for a long time. Don't get me wrong, but we're nowhere near being in normal times with this whole thing going on and that whole thing going on. I'm sitting at home in June 1st, and I'm usually right now in the broadcast booth. Actually, we'd be down here in Texas playing, and my season's delayed. So, I mean, all that nowhere near normal. And so with that, reminders too, guys, if you do want to find a little extra, I don't know if it'll help your cooking or not, but my Twitter handle, Dan Vaughn Jr., there it is right there. YouTube channel, which has got my cooking show up. I'll show you that in a moment. And then there's my Instagram, Dan Vaughn Jr. right there. Those, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram and on YouTube as well. So I'll bring this down for you in case you missed this earlier during the week. This is the YouTube channel is up, and I do have, yes, it's the show is called The Broadcaster Can Cook. Well, yes, he can. And this one, I got 2 episodes up right now. One's about 9 minutes, one's about 14. One's a salmon dish, and one is a chicken dish. Both up right now. I'll have a grilled chicken wing dish coming up probably later in the week. I just haven't got it up yet. I haven't had a chance to. Thanks for putting up with the technical nonsense earlier, but it looks like we're on the right track. The microphone worked okay, and I think that's good. So that's all good for that. And but anyway, love you guys. Hope you're all doing well. Please be safe wherever you are. As I keep saying, let's all hug each other virtually. And we did a virtual hug. A lot of hugs to all you guys. Blessings to you. Miss you all. And please be safe. And please look out for each other. Let's try to make this thing, like I keep saying, we come out of this COVID, this unrest, better people. I think we've done something right. So let's try to do that, okay? Love each other. And again, happy birthday, everybody. And yes, let's play ball. Boy, I hope so. No doubt about it. I hope so. I hope so. We do. That is my thought and my prayer as well. Because I am going to, my wife was, the dentist asked me today, how things, not playing ball, how is it going? I said, my wife wants to throw me out of the house. So don't want to have that happen. So anyway, all right. All good, guys. Glad you guys were along as we will put the happy hour sign up. It's time to close it out here and get you guys on your way as we will put the happy hour close down. Thanks for joining me. Love you guys. Love everybody. Have a great rest of your day and have a great evening. We got to cook some shrimp and scallops here on the old grill, and we will see you guys on Wednesday, 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time here on the virtual happy hour here on Facebook Live. Love you guys.